Partiful has tweeted that they have no plans to make any money, which is weird because investors gave them millions of dollars for no reason then. And this party planning app loved by millions was founded by two people that used to work at Palantir. Yeah, that Palantir.
The Trump administration has tapped Palantir to compile data on people in the United States for a master database.
Our product is used on occasion to kill people.
Palantir is a data analytics software company who got its start during the War on Terror, and today has big ambitions to be the Department of Defense's go-to problem solver.
Wait, Dan, what does it mean for Partiful that two Palantir alums started the app?
Get the out of my video.
Palantir was co-founded by billionaire Peter Thiel. Let's check in on him real quick.
You would prefer the human race to endure, right? You're hesitating.
Yeah, well,
Yes?
I don't know,
Nice. Partiful has raised $27 million to create a party planning app where it's really easy to send invites to your friends. Oh, you suck. Partiful responded to these suspicions by tweeting out that investors gave us money to help you party, and that's what we're here to do. Enjoy it, babes. No, don't brew that. This is suspicious. Partiful added 1 million downloads in 2024 and another 2 million in 2025, mostly from people under the age of 30, and these hip youngsters love using Partiful for everything. If Epstein was still around, there'd be a Partiful for his little island parties. None of Partiful's users pay to use the app. They don't have to pay to set up an event. There's no ticket sales to collect the fee off from, and Partiful doesn't even run ads, so where could they even make their money from?
Bro, are you good?
Yeah, what? So is Partiful seriously not trying to make any money, or is this Palantir alum-founded app up to something else? I'm gonna get to the bottom of it.
Look guys, he's finally gone.
After observing Gen Z in its natural habitat, there's seemingly no limit to how they'll be using Partiful. I mean, just look at this. A Partiful to meet your friends at a Taco Bell, to meet at a house for your boyfriend. I mean, Gen Z will use this for anything. This is just I've been drinking a gallon of horse piss every single day to deal with male pattern baldness, and it's worked. Kazang's article about this topic in The Cut inspired me to look into this further. If it was not for her article, we would really not have known to make this video because she raised a lot of interesting points. So just to start off, I mean, I think it makes sense to try to understand who the founders are by looking at their LinkedIn. Okay, they both went to Princeton. That's pretty impressive. They had a bunch of other jobs in really impressive tech companies. I mean, this whole LinkedIn is just a huge flex on my entire life. They were both at Palantir in 2014 to 2018, around the same time, though it's unclear if they knew each other while they were there. There's some reporting saying that they actually didn't, especially because the two founders, one is Shreya Murthy, the other is Joy Tao. Joy Tao worked at Facebook for 2 years after Palantir before she started Partiful with Shreya Murthy. Okay, now I'm just gonna take a look at their Twitter accounts to see if there's anything interesting here. Joy Tao's Twitter has just a lot of really interesting stuff. She said here, question, hashtag yes or hashtag no. Pretty groundbreaking. LOLOL, it's happened. Chinese person with a random English word as a tattoo. I'm gonna retweet this. Just when I thought this was going nowhere, I ran into this. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. This is the only reference to Palantir on her Twitter. It's from 2014, the same year she first started working at Palantir. Today we have some news to share. PopTip is joining Palantir. At the time, Joy Tao worked at this company called PopTip, which is a social analytics company that conducts social media surveys and analyzes online conversations. And if they're analyzing online conversations like Joy Tao's tweets, then this product could be worth hundreds, if not tens, of dollars. Acquiring PopTip might have helped Palantir increase its capabilities in tracking online conversations. In 2014, we do know that Palantir helped the NSA develop X keystroke to track emails, web traffic, social media, and much more. Partiful also has a lot of interesting social data. Partiful blew up because it lets you make cool invites that work right in iMessage. No app, no sign up, and just really easy way to RSVP and get updates. You can easily plan your parties and invite your friends. To show how easy it is, I put it to the test myself. So it's pretty simple. You just set up the event very easily right on the website. There's tons of fun covers that you can use. Put in the location, Friday at 7 p.m. It's super easy to share. You click on invite and then you can send the invite right in iMessage. And when they open it, they don't need an app either. They just open it right in iMessage as well. And they can RSVP pretty seamlessly from there. Jack, looks like you RSVP. No, that sucks, dude. You're busy that day?
No, got nothing going on. Like, wide open.
Got it. Yeah, so that's how Partiful works. Partiful has a lot of data about who your intimate friends are, even if you've never created a party yourself. I've created like one Partiful invite ever. I've been to plenty because, you know, I'm cool and go to parties and Don't fact check that. A section of their website called Mutuals is actually really eerie. I've probably created like 1 or 2 Partifuls ever in my life, but my Mutuals section on Partiful's website literally lists my girlfriend, my roommates, and all of my closest friends. So Partiful actually knows a lot about who I'm spending most of my time with, even though I've barely ever given them any data about who I am. So even if you're not creating your own Partiful invite and inviting your friends through it, if your friends are creating Partiful events and inviting you to it, then Partiful has really valuable data on who you are as a person. Now, what this data could be monetized for is unclear to me, but it's clear that major VCs understood this is useful enough to put millions of dollars behind it. And while this doesn't predict how Partiful works, it's not lost on me. The Joy Tao was an engineer at a social analytics company, PopTip, when it got acquired by Palantir, and now she's the chief technology officer and co-founder of Partiful, a company that seemingly has access to a lot of social data about its users. In Kazang's article in The Cut, she cited a link that points to patents Joy Tao has been credited with while at Palantir, and I mean, this is kind of interesting. System for data aggregation and analysis of data from the plurality, I can't speak, of a data source. I mean, look, I'm not gonna pretend I understand what these patents mean or if they're useful to process the kind of data that Partiful has. And I wasn't able to get in touch with the data patent expert for this video. But all this got me thinking, what kind of data does Partiful have on me and what could it be doing with it? Dude, what are you doing to my laptop? I heard that you said you wanted to clean your Mac, so I'm just trying to help you out. Clean My Mac is an app. Should I keep going or should I stop? Did you know 99% of all data ever created in all of humankind history was created in just the last 10 years, yet 90% of all data is never accessed 3 months after it's stored. Okay, and it means all of us just have tons and tons of files sitting deep inside our folders or on our desktop or inside the cloud, just creating so much clutter, taking up all the space you need when you need to download that Zoom update for the 10th time. But Clean My Mac's Cloud Cleanup scans your cloud to find the largest space wasters, and all the scanning happens locally so that all your data stays safe on your Mac. It cleans up your space, it frees up memory, and it just lifts that emotional burden off your shoulders. So I shouldn't put this in the dishwasher? No, dude, are you crazy? No, man, you are. I'm just a figment of your imagination. Huh? You need to find some real friends. Get tidy today. Try 7 days free and use Brew20 for 20% off. Link in description. I wanted to get a sense of what Partiful could do with my data, so I talked to 2 data experts. I want to start with, did you get a chance to look at Partiful's privacy policy? And if so, what did you think?
I did, and I think like many privacy policies, it uses somewhat open-ended language.
But they say explicitly, we do not, for one, they don't allow personal data to be used for purposes unrelated to the platform unless there's explicit consent. And then they also say they don't sell personal data as a source of revenue.
Can we trust Partiful's privacy policy? Like when they say they're not going to do something, is that legally binding? Can we trust them? Can we take their word for that?
I mean, sure. I mean, a privacy policy is not a contract, right? So it's not legally binding in that sense. But if you make a public statement and then you go against that statement, that would be considered deceptive. Right. So at the federal level, the FTC enforces the FTC Act for unfair and deceptive acts and practices. That would be considered an unfair practice.
Okay, one thing that caught my attention is that they said that they could disclose information in connection with or during negotiations of any merger, sale of company assets, financing, or acquisition of all or a portion of our business. Does that basically mean that an investor in Partiful could access Partiful's data?
Again, an example of something where the company is saying, don't worry, we care about your privacy, but by the way, we may be able to use it in all of these different contexts, which in many cases are just sort of a litany of the things that the business would otherwise do with your information.
I don't think that language should be interpreted that way. That doesn't mean it's not possible, but typically you have that language because it's less of you're getting an investor into your business and more that someone is acquiring that business. So if that investor took control, had a controlling interest in that business, then potentially that investor could get access to that data.
How valuable is Partiful's data? I'm trying to understand, like, is very monetizable? Is this very useful for Partiful or other investors to get a hold of?
All of this is potentially very valuable information for advertising, targeted advertising purposes. They could sell insights to third parties based on that data. They could sell de-identified versions of the data sets that they're building as an app. And all of that would tap into sort of the richness of data that arises out of an app that's about networking and who your friends are and when you're in the same physical location, what events you're attending.
I want to get your take on this business model. For a company that's raised $27 million but has no real solid revenue streams, doesn't this reek of a business model that is a data play?
I think it seems very likely.
So talking to Jessica, it was really insightful to basically find out that a lot of the stuff that's in the privacy policy is actually very reassuring, that they won't sell your data, they won't use it in certain ways, and that even another company that comes in and acquires that company, that acquires Partiful, wouldn't just be able to use that data maliciously however they want. They're talking to John, it actually seems that, you can't trust everything that you're told. You have to be a little bit more cynical and skeptical because there's too many examples of companies going the other way. I mean, this is really helpful to get, I think, kind of two opposing perspectives and doesn't let me figure out exactly what is really going on. So in Partiful's privacy policy, they actually let you do personal information requests. You can basically just send them an email and find out what they have on you. I actually sent that email a little bit ago, and they got back to me saying that they will respond to my email within 45 days, which is kind of crazy unless they're transcribing my data by hand onto a piece of paper and sending it to me by pigeon. I mean, I don't even know if I have enough time to wait 45 days, but we'll see. So I totally missed this, but I got an email 2 nights ago, and it's from Partiful, and they sent me the data that they have on me. So let's look at this together. All right, moment of truth. Let's see what they have on me. Session details, account details, host details, RSVP details. Okay, let's start with RSVP details. Okay, this is a list of every party I've ever been to on Partiful, the date of my RSVP, and if I brought a +1, and the link to the Partiful. I mean, I knew they had this. This is not really groundbreaking. Host details. Okay, these are the Partifuls that I've hosted. So I've only ever hosted 2 Partifuls. When the event started, when they were created, the links to them. I mean, again, I know they have that. Session details. July 16th, 2025. IP address 131. What can you determine from an IP address? An approximate geographical location like city or postal code. The internet service provider, potentially the host name. Okay. Well, it has a bunch of sessions of me going back to 2022, and the IP address reveals the time and my location. That's something. Basically what this means, this is pretty standard metadata that some tech companies will collect. This is not as juicy as I thought it would be. I'm surprised that they don't have a spreadsheet of the mutuals that they list at the bottom of the Partiful website that lists like my roommates, closest friends, so on and so forth. So that means they're not aggregating that data in some kind of formalized way, or they are and they just didn't give that to me in this. Not as much data as, this is basically data I expected them to have. So first of all, just because Partiful's founders used to work at Palantir doesn't actually tell us a whole lot about Partiful's business model, especially given that they're such different industries. But it is reasonable to consider how Partiful might think about things like data and data monetization, given the experience and professional network its founders bring from companies like Palantir. It seems we don't know the exact relationship that Partiful has with Palantir, and there actually might not be a relationship at all. It's worth mentioning that CEO Shreyamurthy has denied that Palantir is an investor in Partiful. Okay, remember when I said Partiful makes no money? I was wrong. In May, the same week that Kat Zhang's article about the connection to Palantir came out, Partiful coincidentally decided they wanted to announce their new way to make money. And it's called Group Order, which partners with Instacart's 21+ subsidiary, Biz, to help party planners get drinks and snacks and whatever else it is that they want at their events. It's hard to know how much money Group Order is making, given that Partiful doesn't release a lot of its metrics publicly. But if we assume that there's about 1 event for every 10 users a month, and about 1 out of 10 events will use Group Order, that's about about 5,000 group orders a month. Each group order costs the host a flat $5 charge, which is supposed to cover delivery. Partiful likely takes a fee off of this. We're guessing 10% to be in line with industry standards. This means Partiful is making a grand total of $2,500 a month in revenue from group order. This feels extremely low, and of course, this is based off just a lot of educated guesses. We reached out to Partiful to confirm these numbers, and they told us that our exact number is incorrect, but didn't provide any clarification or metrics or anything else we could look at. This revenue is especially low when you consider that the cost to run Partiful is not low whatsoever. The company has been clearly burning its VC money to support its office in Brooklyn with a staff of 25 people. With Partiful's public job listings, we can estimate the total average cost per employee to be about $200,000. That's $5 million a year just on personnel. And some of these people are clearly highly paid. They're engineers that were poached from top tech companies. And while we don't have access to a lot of Partiful's numbers, like office rent, the cost of their benefits that they offer to employees, how much money actually goes into building out the platform, on-campus outreach, all these other things that they do, it's a fair guess to assume that they must be running out of fuel pretty soon. On the surface, Partiful is a great app. I mean, it is a fun way to create funny invites and gets all your friends on the same page for all your events really quickly. I'm honestly probably gonna keep using Partiful. But beneath Partiful is something that's so much harder to pin down. I mean, we know that PopTip, which analyzed social data, was valuable enough for Palantir to acquire it and use that data for purposes that we still don't fully know. And now, a PopTip and Palantir alumni, along with other Palantir alum, are back, raising tens of millions of dollars from many of the same investors, building another company that sits on top of this kind of rich social data. The truth is, we don't understand what makes Partiful useful, but clearly there's something about this app that makes it very valuable to some very smart, rich, and powerful people. Partiful feels like a party app, but the business model just reeks of being a Trojan horse for something else. And honestly, we probably won't be able to find out much more until, time goes on. But until then, let us know what else you want us to investigate in the comments, and we'll get working on that. Sam, you're hosting a party Friday night, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
I'm doing a video on Partiful, and I need to go to a party for research purposes, so I thought I could come on Friday night.
Oh, I'm actually busy that night.
It's your party.
What party?
I'm so excited for that party.
He's invited?
Whole office is invited.
Are you serious?
Shut the
Dude, are you it's for research purposes. Why can't I come?
Dude, last time you were invited to a party, you hit on my mom.
Okay, who invites their mom to a party?
It was a funeral.
Who sends a Partiful for a funeral?